Come on in the room. Come on in the room.
Good morning.
Right, this meets Ratchet. We
Oh,
are live as we speak.
man,
We are live as we speak.
the longest week of my life. All my life I had
Why is it the longest week of your life, friend? What's going on?
some people at work just want us to be ratchet. They want us to go crazy.
All that.
We talked about that last week, though. We're going to leave that last week. Well, that was the week before last. We had to switch
Mm,
up the week, but,
we
yeah.
did. We did.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
it's okay, though. Nothing wrong with that at all. I don't
Yeah.
see us live on IG yet. That's
Um,
okay.
let's see.
I mean, I could technically go live on IG, but
Yeah. Um, look, I tried. Okay.
it's okay. It's doing what it needs to do. It's giving what needs to be gave. Okay.
All that jazz. Um,
All of that jazz. But this week, oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't even introduce ourselves. We are the hostess with the mostest here on Righteous Meets Ratchet. Lovely co-host Monique. My name's Dee. We are just some young people out here trying to do the Lord's work. Okay. And to be honest, it's not easy. It's not easy. Sometimes it's fun, and other times it's not so fun. But we're here to show you the real, the now, the everything behind the scenes of what it's like to be young and still trying to find your way, you know?
mm-hmm.
So we thank all our sinners, winners, and beginners for coming in the room. Go ahead, like, share, subscribe to our pages. We're on IG, Facebook, YouTube, all those great things.
You're right.
Anywhere you see us, just say hey. You know, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what church you go to. If you do go to a church, if you're looking for a church, let us know. We got some good suggestions for you. We also have some suggestions on other things, So just
If you're
hop in the
not
comments, let us know.
welcome anyway. Hey,
Hey, welcome. All is welcome here.
we enjoy y'all. I'm about to say
We
I know
do.
we a little early today. We had some scheduling conflicts, so
Yeah,
we appreciate everybody.
I
Um,
appreciate y'all for working with us as we
mhm.
continue to do the Lord's work. Because honestly, your girl got to work tonight. Like we're real human beings. Like we haven't made it yet. So we have jobs and other responsibilities, as Tommy Pickles likes to say, responsibilities. Or is that Chucky? I don't know which one.
No,
But
Tommy, that was Tommy.
yeah, he's like, I'm
I
tired of
felt
being
I felt
gatekeeper.
where he was coming from because you know what, Tommy. You know what? I say this every time. I gotta.
I got a
I must about to be
responsibility.
hitting the lottery or something because, baby, when I was looking at the reel in heaven,
Mm.
or wherever they were sending me from,
Oh.
the real my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It,
Mm-hmm.
it had to have given something. It had to have given
Uh,
something because
it was given what it should have
cause
gave.
right now, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
cause like I said, my life real. Mm-hmm.
I'm proud. I'm proud of you, friend.
Right now I don't, yeah, but we right now is a good medium. It's a medium. It's not bad, but it's not the best, but it's good. So I'm like, my life real must about to give something. It's gonna give what it's giving, but it's not giving what
I'm
it's supposed
proud.
to give right now. So because I don't think I would have picked um this real watching it before. But hey, here we go.
That's what we get. That's life in a nutshell. We are the Lord's favorite movies. To be honest, it's like the Lord has his own personal blockbuster, and each one of us have, our own little, comedies. Some of us might be comedies. Some of us might be a little suspenseful at times. Some of us might like to live the life of a thriller. God bless you. Not me. Some of us might be like the rom-com, but I think all of those things are seasons of life, where,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have a good rom-com season. Like I'm coming out of my rom-com season right now where, It's the classic boy meets girl, girl meets boy, and next thing you know, since the day they met, they haven't split from each other. And that's me and my husband right now. We met, and I really can't remember a day after that we've been apart, really. And not to say that that's a bad thing. I love my husband to death. Shout out to Pastor Charles Campbell. But yeah, love you. Anyway, see, rom-com stuff, like, you can't turn it off. It's just how we were built. Have a beautiful little girl, and life is just lifing for us right now. Whether now we're kind of getting into our like climax of like transition and different things in life. Working in elevation of jobs and different things like that. Pastoring a church, so like now it's kind of getting into the little bit of like suspenseful part of life, like what's going to happen next, what do you do, how do you solve that problem. And I think God just kind of sits back and is like, okay, this is a pretty good movie. I like that. I did my thing with that movie right there. That's pretty cool. So I think a lot of times when we kind of get into why is life doing this, or why do I have to be like this, or why does so and so have to bother me every day? It's just a part of the movie that God made to sit back and kick back and laugh and say, I did a good job. But some of us,
If I was to title
oh,
my movie, Joan of Arc. Um, yeah, because every day is a battle. Okay, sometimes
cannot.
I get a sword, and call my friends to be like, let's jump them. But you can't do that. You might get
No,
arrested.
cannot. You
Um,
definitely will. You definitely will.
and I don't know how I would fin in prison. So I mean, I feel like I would
It's
do
just
okay, but would I like to see if I would do okay? Probably not.
that's just not on my radar, to be honest.
Yeah. So hey.
Not on my radar. I'm trying to make sure I don't have any um pop-ups because my phone keeps sending me stuff, and I'm like, can we not?
Yeah, I know. Uh,
So sorry, y'all. The phone is just like, hey, you got to update. Like, I'm in the middle of a show. Why do I want to update right now? See, suspenseful parts of life, things that just pop up out of nowhere, and you're just like, got to handle that. Got to deal with that problem.
yeah.
But
Uh,
we're here to talk to you guys about pregnant with promises. And I know that title kind of throws people off. Like, wait, what do you mean pregnant with promises? Like, actually being pregnant, or like, what does that mean? Like, I'm a male, I can't get pregnant. Like, like stuff like that. And you just kind of have to sit back and really analyze, what are we actually saying? Because yes, you can give birth to new ideas. You can give birth to um, a dream that you might have had. You can give birth as a female to an actual child. So being pregnant with a promise, not only the promise that God has given you, but the promise of what He's put in you to produce in this world. And so, just a little bit of my background story. As I stated, I do have a little girl. And for me, I've grown up in church all my life, and so being pregnant out of wedlock was kind of scary for me, because I never really thought that was going to be me. I tried to kind of, in a sense, steer my life in a way that I really wouldn't have to be in that type of predicament per se. And when I met my husband, let's just say God had another plan. And she was made purely out of love, and I would never change anything about how she was conceived. But I think for me, the aftermath of knowing, okay, what am I going to say to my mom? Because as a Christian, you have certain standards not only for yourself, but you also have standards that the world puts on you. And you have standards that the church puts on you, and so you try to live up to those things. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh, I'm not living up to what everybody else is expecting me to live up to. Because at the time I was a youth pastor. I was heavily known in church. I was heavily known throughout the community. I have a lot of little mentees as well. So um, to know that while, yes, my husband and I were engaged to be married, we still weren't married yet. And so for me, I kind of hid the fact for a long time. that I was pregnant from a lot of people. Um, Matter of fact, at my big wedding ceremony, that's when a lot of people found out I was pregnant. And I was 7 months pregnant by that time. Now, granted, you can't hide a pregnancy like that. Like you could try, but you really can't hide a pregnancy, because you're literally making organs every day. You're literally making another human inside your body every day. So your body's going to go through all these different changes. And at the time I was going through a lot of social change. I was going through a lot of mental change, physical change. Like my hair fell out. Like I literally went through every change possible, trying to produce this promise that I had not only known I was given, but I had asked God for. And it was crazy to me the amount of, I won't say shame, but like I almost thought I would have been shamed, especially like my mom was probably the one person like I did not want to disappoint, and trying to tell my mom, I was like a ball of nerves. Like I boohoo cried. Like I literally told my mom the day we were going to go wedding dress shopping. Okay. Yeah. That was a lot in itself. Okay. And to think that she was just going to chastise me and just wag finger. And she just kind of looked at me like, what do you want me to do? You're getting married now. She's like, gotta look for a different dress size, but it's here now. So I was just kind of like in shock and awe that I know my mom loved me and she was gonna love me regardless, but it just for me it wasn't that cookie cutter of a wedding, that cookie cutter, that you were expecting, um, or at least what you would want your life to be. And so that kind of gave me a little bit relief, like, okay, she's not mad at me. Because she looked at me, she's like, why would I be mad at you? She's like, this is something you've wanted for years. Like, granted, I'll be 31 this year. So I was talking about having a baby and getting married years before now, but it wasn't in the right timing, and God had other things for me to do. I accomplished a lot of other things. I got to learn myself more and all that time. So I really wasn't ready, um, like I thought I was. But to be able to go through this journey with my husband and my close circle of friends really helped me see, the amount of growth that I actually had to do to,
Mhm.
encompass this moment. And Mo is a true testament. Like she was there through all of it.
Cause y'all was stressing me out. The amount of stress that I went through, the trauma that I had to talk to my therapist. She was like, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. First of all, I just don't plop something in my lap. What am I supposed to do with this? Like, I mean, I'm be supportive, but god dang, can you like you lead up to it? No warning, nothing. Okay. So we're gonna do this. This is what we're doing. Just
This is exactly what we're doing.
this is
Yes.
it. Oh, okay. Well, like give me a game plan or something. Just hey,
By the way,
blase blah.
yeah.
Like
But
the stress.
but we were there.
Yeah, I'm yeah.
She's definitely there for us. And that is her little niece to this day. They have an unspoken bond that I still can't figure out. But it is what it is. I'm happy that she's able to have somebody in her life as Monique. To kind of grow up and be around and to, go to Paris, France, or wherever they decide to go on little trips and have fun, do their thing. But
I give her the truth.
she does
I
ever since
told her in the hospital the world was ghetto. So she already knew. She
yep,
understood. So
wholeheartedly agree too. That's the funny part about it. I just
because
kind of
she
look
knew
like,
she
okay.
came out the womb like mm, yeah.
Um, I'm trying to see here. Okay, let me mute this right here. So we're up here. Charles said LOL. Oh, he's laughing at our comments. I got Facebook and Instagram up. So hey, if you're on right now, share, share, share. Let people know we are here in the building. We're talking about being pregnant with promises. And honestly, that was one of God's promises to me. Was my little girl and my husband. Um, just knowing that trying to stay faithful not only to myself, but to the things that I promised God, to the things that I knew I had to equate to in order to kind of walk in that realm. And it's funny because Monique is probably the only person that I really like said it out loud to until like it started to happen. But
Mm,
like literally, I was like, you know what? By the end of this year, I'm gonna be and I think it happened because I said it the way it happened. I said I'm gonna be
you
pregnant,
said it.
engaged, and married before the end of the year. And I literally said it in that.
She kept saying it. That was the point. I was like, okay, what they say about the tongue? Okay,
Yes, literally. If I would have said engaged, pregnant, and married, or engaged, married, and pregnant, it might have happened a different way. But I literally said pregnant first, and I don't know why I couldn't like adjust my wording for whatever reason, but
right.
that's what I wanted. And I kept saying it. And next thing I know, I was like, "Ooh, it's here. It's real. It's not going anywhere."
So,
Okay. Um, but
man,
we definitely had a lot of fun. Had a lot of um. Sorry, y'all.
about to say you
You know what I
froze for.
want to? Yeah. It's.
I was like,
Oh no! It's like my device is trying to restart. No, I don't want it to restart. Ah.
oh, all right. So, we lost D. We're gonna give it a second for her to get on back up. um, but just speaking on it, I will come from another side of the pregnant with promises because obviously I don't have a baby family or anything like that, but just thinking about it, like I would say, and I feel like I've gone through what a lot of people have gone through. People, that expectation to, I don't want to say be perfect, but have things a certain way. And so that's how I grew up. It was like, okay, I gotta make good grades. I have to do this. I have to do that. I was in a church as well growing up. I need to be in the choir. I need to be an usher. Um, at one point, I was like an administrative assistant, junior, helping mail out stuff like that. And as I got older, it just started weighing on me um heavily. And so you that wanting to have everything just right and wanting to be have things a certain way, it started weighing on me, like I needed to be this. And then when things wouldn't turn out the way they would, it will be a disappointment or it'll lead to a shutdown. It kind of it shook me up. And I think a lot of people deal with that. And so I know as I got older, it was like I had to fully change my whole mindset of, okay, life's not going to be the way you think it's going to be. Um, you just have to do with what you got. What did Mariah say? Do the best with what I got. So, I had to do that. I had to change my whole mindset. And, but, staying prayed up, having people pray for you. They're like, you may not get to where you're supposed to go in a certain type of way that you think that you thought you were, but you're still going to get there eventually. It might just be a different path or a different road that you went down. But I feel like my life turned out the way that it should have, even though it didn't happen how I thought it was going to happen. Things didn't turn out the way that I thought they were supposed to turn out. Or I couldn't keep my narrative of what I wanted to happen in my life. But like they said, God in the universe, they have a plan for you. You might not get to that plan the way you thought it, but you're going to get there eventually. Yesterday doesn't seem, it doesn't seem like, oh, you might look at it and be like, I this is messed up. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. But you might be exactly where you're supposed to be. And I feel like right now, the way my life is, where I am, I feel like I am still on the path that I envisioned for myself when I was younger, doing all these things, being in church, trying to get straight A's or good grades at least. Cause hey, I wasn't that determined. I ain't gonna lie. I just want to make sure I had 3.0 and over. Um, but I'm in a place now that I could say, yes, I get stressed out, but I'm at least happy and I can see myself still going towards the goal that I envisioned when I was younger. I just went a different direction and a different path that, than what I envisioned for myself. So I think a lot of people can relate when it comes to that. When you're, it says pregnant with promises, you know, you envision something, but where you're supposed to be in life and things like that, you were promised that ahead of time. You were already promised that. So even if you go down a different path, you still gonna get what you're promised. You just went a different route about it. So, that's my, how I feel about the pregnant with promises. Cause I'm like, D has a very good story, but I can't relate because, I mean I can because, we all have a promise that we were promised, this is where you're supposed to be. This is your path. Everybody has a different life story. You're supposed to be where you're supposed to be, and you're gonna get there eventually. But the pregnancy part, I ain't a child. I just appreciate everybody for populating the world. That's how I feel about that right now. I thank you all. Thank you. So yeah, that's how I feel about the pregnant with promises part of it all. Um, Trying to get my co-host back on here. Co-host, you need me to resend the link? She in the comments. She over there stuck. I'm about to say I'm about to resend it. Charles, your dinner ready. Charles, can you pass the link? That Charles, that is Dee's husband. I'm sorry, y'all. But how do y'all feel about it? Comment in the comment section. Let me see if I'm just pull it up over here because I know some people talking. So we're just gonna pull this up on the side, see what y'all talking about. Um, but yeah, pregnant with promises can mean different things to a lot of different people. So when you hear pregnant with promises, don't just think it means pregnancy. It might just mean, hey sister, my sister in the comments, y'all say hey. But it might mean a lot of different things to different people. So don't words have meaning, and I get it. A lot of people think of textbook words, but hey, the scenario may fit you. Um, I know my co-host was just on here. She was telling her story about her pregnancy, and she spoke that into existence. Yeah, if there's something that that you're promised, that you want, that you're determined to get, you speak it into existence. Hey, oh, do we got some? Hey, girl. Yeah.
Oh,
My sister funny.
Lord,
She talked about I had three of them. And you did. And you showed it.
listen,
We
I
lost you
don't
for
get there.
a second. Welcome back.
Listen, I was trying to get back to the surface. My phone was like, "We're going to update now in 10 seconds, whether you like it or not." Excuse me,
Okay,
who
it
said that
said,
was
hey
okay?
now.
We're in the middle of a show, and I was like, "Do not disturb" is a real thing, but it didn't want to. Okay,
Man.
whatever.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
but
that promise, like I said, everybody was promised something. Something was
correct,
spoken over somebody's life. And you may not know
correct.
what it is, but you still gonna get there eventually because it was
You will.
spoken over your life. So even if you went down a different path than you were supposed to, you're gonna eventually get to what was spoken into your life. And so,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of somebody may need to hear that, but hey, it might be bad tomorrow, but it might be bad today. But eventually you're gonna get somewhere you be like, dang, I was tripping. If I would have
Yeah.
known where I was gonna be now.
Listen, because I promise you, I was okay being the fine auntie. Okay, I was all right. I had my life all the way together. I had regular appointments where I get my nails done, get my hair done. I was going out
Um,
spending money on myself. Had my own place, own car. Bills was paid. Family was good. I was enjoying my life. I was youth
mhm.
pastoring, so I was taking my mentees out to like get ice cream and stuff. Like I was okay in my lane. Okay. I pretty much settled for being happy being me. Right. Now, I was in my single season, all right with being single and being okay with me and the Lord. Okay. Me, the Lord, and the dog. No issues. Right. So to know that in my mind originally, I was like, well, that might not be what God has for my life. As much as I would love to be a mother, that might not be what God wants for me. As much as I love children and being around kids and being an impact, I it might just be my promise here on earth is to impact others, and other people's kids, and to instill in them what I would instill in my own child. That might have been what God had promised me. I didn't know, so I settled in that. And as soon as I settled in it,
Had to do a sound effect. Ha!
literally, okay, because listen, this sound effect board, it's over here and it's on. Okay. It's on. It's over here.
That
But
is
we got to do some more things to get that to work the way I want it to work. But it's okay. We're a work in progress. Okay. We're
man,
a work in
because
progress.
I ain't gonna lie, we was out of town. Okay.
Mhm.
Then she was like, boom. I said, well, god dang. Okay. This is what
We
we do.
was.
All
We
right.
did. I for what people like to say that we was outside.
And
We definitely
said,
were
God
outside.
said, don't get too comfortable.
Literally, don't get comfortable at all. I
Yeah.
tried it. I tried it. I was trying to be outside. I didn't make it no further than the porch.
Okay. Just try to be
No further
on
than the
the
front stoop.
beach.
Okay.
She's
And was just,
stoop kid. Can't
yep,
leave the
stoop
stoop.
kid stuck on the stoop. That's me for sure. But it's okay. I like it where I'm at now. We love it over here. Okay. Love it over here. All right. I
And I
get
love
to
that for
annoy
you.
my favorite person in the world. My child annoys both of us and loves us at the same time. But it's okay, because once you have a kid, it's one of those things where you look at it, you're like, ooh, that's definitely your daddy. Or ooh, that's me. Don't do that. So it's one of those things that, you never really know what you're really asking God for until it shows up in your face and you're like, oh, you said you would give me this. I didn't know it was going to be like
Yeah.
that, but I thank you. I thank you for humbling me enough to know that I wasn't ready when I thought I was, and humbling me enough to know that when you thought I was ready, that I was just like, oh, this is real. Because there's nothing like experiencing the promise God gave you in real time. Because we think about it, we pray on it, we talk about it with others, we see it happen for everybody else. But then when it happens for you in real time, it's the craziest feeling ever. Like it's
Yeah.
one of those things that you just kind of look like, wait, what? Like that
Man.
I gotta take this home? Like, what do you mean I can discharge today? Like,
Man.
this is another human, right? Like,
It's even crazier because, like, I don't know about some of y'all, but I got like journals, and
mm-hmm.
I've written stuff down. And I had my friend Cassandra, she picked up my book one day and she was like, God, she was like, all this stuff happened that you wrote down like 2 years ago. Like I said, you might not get it the way you think you're gonna get it, but
It's
if
gonna
it's
happen though.
promised to you, it's gonna happen. Like,
Definitely. That
and I'm still waiting to hit the lottery, but that might not be
the
in my
lottery that you
promise.
don't play.
I play it. I do play it. But hey, I'm gonna keep speaking it into existence. But that might not be part of my promise. But hey,
Yeah, I don't know if the Lord gonna give you that one, but I'm gonna pray.
you
I'm gonna
never
pray.
know though. So we gonna keep. Hey, we gonna see. Okay, but yeah, don't be
Oh goodness.
disappointed if it don't happen. Okay, because it might not
Listen,
be
I'm gonna
part
be
of your
right
promise.
here. Like,
I just want
I'm
to let
proud of
y'all
you,
know that
friend.
part too. But it might happen too. So just keep it in the back of your head.
I cannot,
Just
but
you never know.
I can't. But like we said, being pregnant with promise isn't just being able to produce a life. God has promised each and every one of us a life here on earth, to not only to do His will, but to feel satisfied in the things that you do here. And just like Mo said, writing things down, that is a crucial thing to not only keep yourself on the path to your promise, but to also remind yourself and to keep you in your faith goals of saying, okay, God, I see you and I know you're real and I understand, that I don't have it all together yet, but I'm going to continue to write it out. I'm going to continue to, check off these little small things. So that way, as I get closer to this promise that you've given me, I know that I've done everything that you've asked me to do. I know that I've set myself up for success. So that way, when this promise does come, I know I'm fit for it. Right.
Hmm.
Um, I told my husband, it's crazy the things that we had talked about before we even started dating, because we were just friends in ministry. And some of the things that he would tell me, I'm like, okay, God, what are you doing? Because I've written this in my journal before of things that I wanted in a husband or things that I wanted in a partner, and the things that he was regurgitating back to me. I'm like, okay, this man hasn't even been in my house. Like, I know he hasn't seen these journals. Like, I know he has not been in my prayer closet with me and the Lord. Like, I know for a fact. Like, I haven't told anybody these things. And
Hmm.
for him to be sitting here verbatim, spitting them out, I'm like, okay, God, I see you're working and you're moving. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know how it's going to get there, but I get it. Because at the time, he was talking to somebody else. He was in a completely different relationship. So, like I said, there was really no chemistry there for us. It was literally two young people excited to do God's work in ministry, And so for me, I'm like, oh, I never thought I'd marry a pastor. Like, am I in church? Yes. Did people always see me like in the light of, oh, you're gonna be with somebody in church or something of that realm? Sure. Um, did my history show that? No. But how I carried myself did, how I presented myself to people, how I walked, how I talked, that showed a different standard than what I was going after per se. And it's not to say that people don't change. It's not to say that, your surroundings are not fit for who you are. That's not it at all. It's the simple fact of once you grow, the things around you will either have to grow with you or they'll have to move on. And so don't think that your promise is going to be where you're at right now.
Hmm.
Sometimes that promise requires you to grow. Sometimes that promise requires you to not have as many friends as you once had. And sometimes your promise requires you to start a routine. Sometimes your promise requires you to be to go back into education, and to learn more things, and to add more things to your belt, as I like to say, or your wheelhouse. So sometimes, we have to ask ourselves, are we living up to the standard of what our promise requires? You
Yeah.
know, and when you really look at that, it really starts to make you think, like, who am I really? Like, and that's why I always tell people your single season is so important because it's way more than just being by yourself and not being in a relationship. Can you date yourself? Can you take yourself out to the movies? Can you take yourself out to eat and not be bothered? You know what I mean? Do you know your hobbies, what you like to do, by yourself, not just with friends, but what do you like to do by yourself? What do you do in your spare time? How close are you in your faith? We're not on here to just promote that God is the only answer. That's my answer. But there's a lot of different faith walks that you might be, experiencing or wanting to go on. Your faith is your faith. If you believe in higher being, so be it. If you believe in the universe, so be it. But whatever your faith walk is, are you true to that? Is that something that you're consistent in? Or is it like where, you fall off the wagon every now and again and then you wonder why things go wrong? Well, let's go back to this faith walk. Have you been consistent? You know, um, so not only is it, what you do on a daily, not only is it how you carry yourself, not only is it your faith walk, but, when you write down, I heard this and it was really important to me. A guy wanted a woman, right? She wanted this woman.
Mhm.
She had to look a certain way. She had to dress a certain way. She had to make a certain amount of money. She had to be able to cook. She had to be able to clean, all this stuff, right? And he was talking to somebody, and he was like, "Okay, that's great. That's what you want in a woman. But what type of man attracts that woman, right?" And
Exactly.
so he thought about it. He was like, "Okay, well, if she makes a lot of money, that means I need to be making either more than her or have something equal to. Okay. If she's always keeping herself up, that means I probably should have to do the same thing. If I'm expecting her to cook and clean, I should probably be making sure the bills are taken care of, or, vice versa, be able to cook and clean myself, or whatever the case may be. I should be able to handle, outside the house if I want her to handle inside the house. If she has certain mannerisms, I probably need to match those mannerisms. So as he began to write that list and he looked at it, the guy was like, okay, now that you see the list you want for her and you see the list you want for what would attract her, now out of that list, what do you qualify as? Can you handle everything outside the house? Do you make enough money to supply her needs if she's supposed to take care of everything in the house and you don't expect her to work? Or if you do expect her to work, are you making enough to match her or make more than her? Or are you just
Right.
bringing in whatever? You know what I mean? Are you able to compromise? Are you able to sustain that type of lifestyle? For her, like, are everything you just listed for what you wanted, is that you? And he
Mm-hmm.
looked at it. He was like, I got some work to do. You know what I mean? So it can be your promise.
Yeah.
You can ask God for this all you want to, but are you matching up to what you're asking God to do in your life?
I'm
So we all have that.
I'm gonna flip you.
Let's do it.
And all right. So D made a very good point. But there's sometimes in your life that, and I know I personally went through it. And yes, um you should have a purpose to get into those promises. But
Mhm.
sometimes going through life, you'll do things and you think you're just aimlessly doing things. But later on, you see that what you were doing led to those promises.
Mhm.
Everything that you do or happens in your life, it's not just a, oh, I'm doing something for right now. No, you might need that
Yeah.
to get to your promise. Like me, I felt like it was like maybe my mid 20s. I was just aimlessly doing jobs, aimlessly going places, just like going through the motions, and I wasn't
Mhm.
thinking about it. I was just trying to live. I was
Yeah.
just trying to make a day to day. But later
Mhm.
on, I was like, dang, if I hadn't have did those things back then, I wouldn't have got to where I was doing, and I wasn't even thinking about doing these things to get there because I wasn't thinking about, oh, this is where I'm gonna be, or
Yeah.
this was a part of my promise.
Mhm.
So absolutely, Charles, there are no coincidences. Um, Sometimes you're doing stuff, and don't just think you're just doing stuff and it doesn't matter, or
Mhm.
sometimes those things that you think are just stupid or I'm just doing it to do it. Sometimes those are leading you to your promise.
Right.
Like you could purposefully be doing something to lead to your promise and then do something and you just throw it off like, oh, I'm just doing it. But that may
Mhm.
be something that's on the top of the list that's gonna send you to your promise. So we gotta
Right.
remember that too. Don't think anything is a coincidence. Don't think you're just doing stuff to
Mm-hmm.
do stuff, because that same thing that you just thinking like, it's just something to get me by, could be the same thing that's gonna lead you to what was spoken to your life, to what was supposed to be your purpose, to what was supposed to be given to you.
Yeah.
So we always got to remember that too. There's not a lot, there's not coincidences in life. I mean, the very small
Mm-hmm.
amount. Some things are, they're meant to happen. So that
Mm-hmm.
that's just my quick take on it. So,
Oh yeah, there's always purpose in
oh
your
yeah,
promise.
yeah,
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Everything that you do, especially at a young age, your 20s will always be an age where you're just like, okay, what in the world am I
yeah.
doing?
You
You
just
know,
there.
like,
But
how
like,
did I get here? Why am I there? You know, why are we going over here? Okay, just cause, you know what I mean? So, but as you continue to work through your 20s, and I'm only saying this because I'm recently out of my 20s, you know, as you continue to work through them, the more you're able to look back and see, okay, wow, if I wasn't, you know, at that job, I would not have developed these
mm-hmm,
skills. You know, if I didn't encounter this relationship, I wouldn't know that this is what I didn't want in a relationship. You know, or if I didn't go to this church, you know, I wouldn't have understood that I don't really believe everything that they believe. You know, and I wouldn't have, you know, veered to a different
right.
direction. You know, or if I didn't hang out with this group of friends, I wouldn't have known that okay, what I'm this is what I know I can adapt to, or these are people that I know that'll help me elevate in life. You know, these are people that will keep me accountable. But if I didn't have those experiences with other people that didn't hold me accountable, or if I didn't have those experiences with jobs that, you know, had certain standards, but I surpassed them, you know what I mean? And I learned them well enough to say, okay, well, that I've hit the ceiling for here. Now it's time for me to move on. You know, so if I didn't have those things, I would not have known, you know, okay, well, now I'm in a whole totally different field that has nothing to do with the Wendy's that I was working at 16.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with, you know, singing in the church choir. You know, but the fact that I was in church kind of kept me consistent. You know what I mean? It's like they say, you know, take your kids to church, right? Now the pew might look like a tornado hit it. You know, they might be in their sleep. You know, they might, you know, sing a couple songs and then go back to watching Gracie's Corner on their tablet the rest of service. But they're in there and they're watching you, right? You're instilling something in them that they get to see to say, okay, mommy prays, you know, daddy prays, you know, mom talks to God, I could talk to God too. You know what I mean? Mom asks for certain things. I can ask God for things. Now, granted, it might be for the next video game. It might be, you know, for ice cream. It might be, you know, that their friends get to come over and play. You don't know what they're talking to God about unless you truly ask them. But at the same time, you know, they're able to see that the things God promised you, they can be promised something
Mm-hmm.
too. And so it's okay for that oil to get on them, you know, because as they say, it falls from the top down, right? So whatever hits your pastor, it hits his congregants and so on and so forth. It's the same as your family, you know, whatever hits you, it's going to fall on your children and so on and so forth. And that's the same for your promises. You know, whatever you are in well doing with. You know, if you are able to handle your money well, you know, if you handle your money well, that means what? Your bills is going to be paid. That means you're going to be able to have your financial freedom that you want to have. You know what I mean? It trickles
Right.
down, you know, so it's not just, you know, well, if I do one thing right, that's the only thing that's going right in my life. No, there could be things going wrong too, but as you continue to do that one thing consistently, it'll start to trickle down to everything else. That same oil of consistency will trickle down to other parts in your life. And then you'll start to see, oh wow, these things are connected. And not only are they connected, they're leading me to the promise that God initially had for me. Now, did I go the long way to get there and go down chutes and ladders? Sure. But did I make it? Yeah. So it's just one of those things that you kind of have to really look at the bigger
Mm.
picture, you know, because I always tell people we only see puzzle pieces. We don't really see the end product.
Yeah, and we're trying to get to the
But
end product,
mhm.
like like
No,
hitting the
but for real.
lottery. Um, Boy, I'm telling you, one day I'm gonna hit the Mega Millions. Stop playing,
Man, if you a center winner or a beginner in
man.
here, man,
Yeah,
we just thank you for coming out to the show. I'm Dee. This is my co-host Monique. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to our pages,
yeah.
man. If you have any promises that you are currently asking God for, you are currently trying to make, or you, if you are pregnant with a promise, it could be a job, it could be your own business venture, it could be, wanting to have a family for yourself. Put them in the comments. Let's talk
Yes,
about it.
get you.
You know, let's see. You never know. There might be resources right there in the comments for you to kind of get closer to your comments, to get closer to your promise. I'm sorry.
Because we're
Um,
all in this together.
listen, I don't know how you do it, but you find a way every show to put that in there.
Hey, my sister said this is her first time here. Hey, hey. We see you down
Welcome,
in the
welcome, Miss
thing.
Harvey.
How
We
you doing?
appreciate you for coming
We
in.
like to see newcomers and all that jazz. Tell your friends and everybody.
Yes,
If you're sharing, hey, guess what? We're on Facebook, okay? You're on our Facebook right now. I'm pretty sure. Got an
yes.
Instagram. It is Righteous Meets
Mm-hmm.
Ratchet Podcast. Go over there, share. We share a couple things over there for sure. We got a YouTube. I bet y'all
Most
ain't know that.
definitely.
We got a YouTube. Righteous
You didn't
Meets
know it? Now you
Ratchet
do.
Podcast. And guess what else we did?
Yes.
Guess what else? Just in case you don't want to look at the
Hey,
video,
John.
if you're out and about, guess what we did?
Yeah, it needs something to talk
We
about.
didn't move the stuff to podcast form. Okay. Hey,
We out here.
these episodes will be sent to where we at? We at Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Yeah, we on the Spotify's
Amazon
and
Music,
Apple.
and iHeartRadio. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
just take a listen to the podcast
Yep.
over there, if you can't look at the videos and you at work or something like that, you still want to catch
Yeah.
in, you want to click in,
Don't
you want
watch
to
and
check in
drive.
with us, hit it up there.
We don't have
They
insurance yet.
should be posted every Sunday night. we we look, we ain't got no deals
Yeah,
yet.
we don't have insurance yet. So don't watch us and drive because we pretty funny.
Yes.
So we don't want to be causing no accidents, but
Don't yeah.
definitely
If you don't
follow
have
us, you know?
a speaker in your car, don't listen to it, and you don't have the phone, because I know some of y'all just be with the phone, bruh. Don't do that. Please don't do that, because I'm not
Yeah, don't know.
paying
Get,
you.
go to Five
If you
Below.
try
Get
to
you a phone
sue me,
stand.
it's gonna
Something.
get thrown out of court. Okay, I went to school for this. I know the
We're not
logistics.
gonna make it that far.
Yeah, you ain't even gonna get mediation. So I love all
Yeah,
y'all,
we
but
not.
yeah, no,
We not answering the
yeah.
message. I'm gonna just tell
So,
y'all right now. We not. We don't have insurance. We don't have no money. So I'm just telling y'all now. We do this because we don't want to get fired. Okay.
cause she is not a
In a
single
nutshell,
mom who works 2 jobs,
I'm not.
but she love her kids and she
I'm
never
not
stop. Okay,
all day, every day, 327, whatever they try
for
to say. I
sure.
don't know.
But yeah,
But yeah, 365,
yeah,
all that. Well, 66
we
this year
appreciate
because of that
everybody.
whole leap thing. Yeah.
Like I said, write your stuff in the chat, bro. If you got any promises or that you want to be pregnant with, or something that you see yourself with, or something that you
Yeah.
envisioned when you were younger, go ahead. It like I said, you might not get there how you envision, but you eventually gonna get there. Okay, what it say? It may not
Facts.
come when you want it, but it'll be there
But
on
he'll be
time
back.
for you.
Huh?
Yeah, so yeah, that's where we're
Here you
going to
go.
with pregnant with promise. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
nothing is a
Let
coincidence.
us know.
Nothing, you gonna get where you're supposed to get. It may take a little longer.
You will, one way or
You may
another.
feel
You might have to
like
take a long way. That's
you
okay.
messed up, but there's no mess ups. It's just a stepping stone
Mm-mm.
to where you need to get to
Pit
your
stops.
promise. Yeah. So
Pit stop to your promise. What's a pit stop to your current
yeah,
promise?
I'm about to say, if
Put
you
it in
feel
the comment.
comfortable
Put a
putting
pit
it
stop to your current promise.
in the chat, go ahead and you know go ahead and put it in the chat. If you don't feel comfortable with it, hey, free will.
That's okay. We both went to school. I am a licensed social worker. So if you need somebody to talk to or you need some outlets, avenues, let us know. We got great resources. Trying to
Yeah,
get you in
I
there where you need to
I am
be.
not a licensed social worker. Um, and I will not be putting my employment on this app because y'all not gonna be blowing up my phone. Okay.
Listen, my employment is not on this app. I just told you I was licensed. Okay. Um, But yes, we if you need somebody to pray with, we pray with
Okay.
you. But yeah, all those great things. But definitely, what is the pit stop to your current promise that you are trying to get over right now? Or what is a promise that you asked God about that you have succeeded in, what that you are currently walking in, right? Did you ask God for a certain house? Did you ask God for a certain job and you finally got it? Did
Yep.
you ask God for a family? Did you ask God for a car? Is there something that you're currently doing, like a business venture or a job? These are all things that God has
For sure.
promised, or things that you have asked God and you're currently walking in. But let us
Yeah, you
know,
might not
you
even
know.
remember asking that promise. Sometimes you got to sit there, and I know I get bad at it.
Hmm.
Some of the time I'm a half glass. What is the glass half full?
Glass half
Yeah,
full,
I'm that
glass
type
half
of person.
empty,
But
glass half full.
sometimes I have to settle myself and be like, "Hey, you know, you asked 5 years ago to be where you are now. Sometimes we have to sit
Hmm.
down. We have to center ourselves. We have to be like, hey, this is something I asked for, and I didn't even remember I asked for this, but I'm here where I am now because I asked for this, and like you
Hmm.
just gotta take it in sometimes, and sometimes breathe,
Definitely.
because sometimes I be having to make myself sit in the car. Like sometimes I sit in the car, I'll be in the car for hours. People call me, get out
Yep.
the car.
I don't know
I'm
why.
reflecting.
When you get 30s, that's
I'm
what you do.
reflecting.
You
I'm
sit outside
cooling
your house in your
down.
car.
Okay. But I needed that
Hmm.
because, I may have had a stressful day. But then I remember, hey,
Yeah.
you was there back then, like 6, 7 years ago, and you look at yourself now. Do you know you asked yourself to be here
Hmm.
right now? Um, this is what
Yeah.
you asked for. This is where you wanted to be. And be like, dang, yeah, you ain't lying. You know what? You not lying. I did ask here.
And it helps. It helps. It helps when you also have that close circle that knows what you've been through
Hmm.
to get to where you are. And then it kind of gives you that recollection of, oh,
Self reflect.
I have grown. I have, stopped cussing folks out. I have stopped running over people with my car. Like wow, like I have grown. You know what I mean? Like I didn't cuss out that old lady today. I'm proud of
Hmm.
me, because old me would have rid her life from Sunday to Sunday, but I didn't. I just let her keep walking with her slow self. Like I just,
Yeah.
like it's the little things that you see that you be like, okay, God, I asked you to help me with my attitude, and look where we're at now. It's not the best, but it's definitely
You're right.
less. You
You
know,
still getting there,
it,
but guess what? You
yeah.
made it. You making a stride. That's all.
That's why we are all sinners, winners, and
You just
beginners.
gotta keep
For
going.
real.
So
You gotta keep moving, keep
you
pushing,
know,
just keep pushing. Do what you can, until you can't, and then ask for help. And then when you ask for help, don't get mad that you got the help you asked for. There's
cause you
some of y'all out
asked
there that
for
do
it.
that, and I
That's
do.
why we do self reflection.
Yes,
Word of
it's
the
good to
day.
self reflect.
I wish I could have it on the screen. Self reflection.
It's coming. It's coming. It's going.
Okay, I'm still learning how to self reflection. Okay,
It's coming in the edits. We'll be able to
we're
do it
gonna do
that way.
something. Something gonna happen. Look, hey, self reflection. Okay,
Look, y'all pray for us as we continue to update these lives and make them better for y'all viewing pleasure, and just to kind of give you something to laugh about every now and again, and kind of let y'all know that we're all sinners, winners, and beginners here. Merch coming soon. Nelly, I'm so serious. We need our shirts. I need my
we've
sweatshirt. I
been
don't know what you
talking.
need me to
We've
send
been
you.
talking. We got a
I
conference
need
call. We gonna
I need my
conference
Scully. I need my beanie, all of that, and I need a sinners, winners, and
right.
beginners right there. And the "What's in My Cup" shirt, I need that too. From our last co-host, our special guest, she definitely the "What's in My Cup."
I
I
love
need that.
y'all
Um,
so much. Okay,
These are real things. These are real things. And you don't know if it was water or wine.
exactly.
I don't know.
What was in the cup?
You don't
We
know.
don't know, and I'm not asking.
You don't know. But I needed to be a red solo cup too, though.
Absolutely,
That's what I
yeah.
need.
Just look
It
out
has
for.
to be a red solo cup.
I was about to say
But it's coming.
we
It's
gonna we
coming.
gonna do
Don't
a
you worry.
collaboration
It's
because I know
coming.
my sister do glasses too, so we're gonna try to get some of them popping off.
Yes, I need
You
those.
know,
I need those in my
don't
life
just
because
some of
as you can
them
see, I'm
popping
blind.
off, but we just
Hmm.
appreciate
Hmm.
everybody for checking in today.
We do.
We had to, like I said, we had to do a little early. We had schedule conflicts. Um, you are on a journey with us. So with that being
Yes,
said,
we appreciate y'all
um,
in the backpack with me.
this will be rebroadcast at 8 if I can figure it out
Hmm.
again because I forgot how to do it. So we gonna between now and then. And if it's not,
The Lord is working
guess
and moving
what?
with us.
Hey, guess what? You can still watch this video on the
Hey,
page.
Pearl.
Okay. But we're gonna try to rebroadcast at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Hmm.
Go
Hmm.
ahead. If it's somebody that needed to hear this today, go ahead, send it to them a message or send them to a text message.
Yeah, let them
You know,
know it's okay to be pregnant with a
if they ain't got
promise.
Facebook, like I said, we got YouTube. They can go on YouTube and watch it. Cause I know some people on the
Hmm.
last show they ain't have Facebook. So guess what? Catch it on our YouTube. Boom.
Definitely,
I'm still working on
definitely. It's
Instagram.
everywhere, all platforms.
Let's pray for
We'll get
Instagram
there.
because
We're gonna pray for it.
they
Say it in the
ghetto.
name of
They the
Jesus.
ratchetest of ghettos. So
No, but for real. We love them. We thank them. They
mhm.
post great pictures. But as far as lives are concerned, we don't
Yeah,
know. We're not gonna stress
we
it.
gonna figure it out. But yeah,
So we'll get there. But just know it's okay. Everybody has a promise, and that promise is not. It's not gonna be like a microwave. Okay, you're not gonna get it quick, fast, in a hurry. Pregnancy takes 9 months. Okay, at least I would know. But just give yourself time. Give yourself grace. And continue to stay consistent. That's all we ask. It's not easy. It's not for the weak, but it can be done. But to all our sinners, winners, and beginners, we appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you at another time
right.
with another episode.
Yep. Okay.
I can't remember which episode that
And
is.
catch us. Well, like I said, we are every other week, every other Saturday. I know we had to switch the schedule a little bit, but we're back on track.
Mm-hmm.
So the next show will be, and we gonna be giving y'all reminders as well. The next show will be
Yeah.
on April 6th. Catch us April 6th with
Mm-hmm.
a very special show, a
Mm-hmm.
very
Mm-hmm.
serious show, something that a lot of people have gone through, and that is our church hurt conversation.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of
Yeah.
people gonna
Yeah.
have a
We're gonna
lot to
pray for
say
church
about
hurt.
that, and we want y'all in the comments commenting on your church hurt, how you feel about it. If you don't feel like if there's
Definitely.
real church hurt,
Thanks, Mom.
everybody got a story. Everybody went through something.
Yeah.
We just want to hear,
Question.
what y'all talked about. If you feel comfortable talking about it in the
Yeah.
comments, hey, this is gonna be a very interactive show because I know a lot of people got a lot of things to get out.
Listen,
Some people
they gonna be
some
on one
people
that one.
got it out and they went back to church. Some people didn't get it out and they didn't go back to church. But you know
Mm-hmm.
what? As long as you are going on with life, keeping up, doing what you got to do, that's all that matters. Because
Yeah.
the church
Leave the
might
church.
not
Don't
be,
leave God.
yeah, the church might not be for everybody, but if you can find your own relationship with your faith, and whether that's with God, the universe, like we said, or just anything that you believe in,
Mm-hmm.
keep going. That's all we care about.
Yeah.
That's all we really care about is that you keep going. It might not be might been a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stuff happening in church, and hey, as long as you are going on with life and doing what needs to be done, hey, I'm cool. You cool in my book. So
I got a question
what's
though.
up?
Just because I'm curious, because me and Charles had this conversation the other day, and he said it was church hurt, but I don't know if this is considered church hurt. But for all my drummers who play an instrument or whatever the case may be, okay, because I just want to know when you on the drums, right? Especially like the big councils or big church events or whatever, when you on the drums, and then you see old school come in and talk about some, hey,
I
get
seen
up.
that video.
Is that considered church hurt?
It could.
Is that true
I
church
feel like
hurt, or
it
is
could
that like you got to
be.
pay your dues in order to be where you at?
I feel
Like,
like it's 50-50 because I feel like, yeah, the old head come in cool. You if you doing it every Sunday, and if that's somebody's release that they have is through
mm-hmm,
the ministry of music and they needed that release,
mm-hmm,
and that's how they feel, their relationship with God. You get what I'm saying? Because everybody don't have the same.
Yeah.
Some people shout, some people pray silently. Everybody has their things that they. This is how I praise God. This is how I believe in God. If that is
Yeah.
somebody's praise to God, and somebody comes in every single Sunday, yeah, go ahead, get off. Of course, I'm gonna be like, yeah, nah, I'm out, cause you don't
But what if
know
it's
where
not
they
an every
are.
single Sunday kind of thing though? What if it's like one of those like big councils or
Okay,
like
if it's a big
because you always got the
council,
name.
cool. Okay, I mean, a lot of people,
Yeah,
you
like,
warn the people ahead of time. Hey, somebody older might come
but
in.
that's not how that goes.
But it,
That's not how that goes. They supposed to rotate
oh
technically.
yeah,
Like the musicians in church are supposed to rotate,
okay.
but they don't really
But
rotate.
that's different. It's
So
different
that's why
if
I'm like,
it's
is
a
that
big
church hurt?
event or if it's a church event.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a big event, then everybody know, like, hey, it might be somebody come in, let me get on up, blah blah blah. Hey, but if it's a
But yeah,
regular
it's always the
schmegular
big name people that you
thing,
look up to.
if it's a
Yeah.
regular thing, then yes, I could see that being church hurt. Because if that's how I
Mm.
get my praise out, then of
Yeah.
course, like, that's hurting me, because that's how I get my praise, because I'm not a shouter. I don't lay hands, I don't speak tongues, I don't do this. But I know when I'm on the drums, I feel the spirit. This is what, you get what I'm
Mm.
saying. That's how I can see it being
I feel
church
that.
hurt. So it just depends on the situation and the
I feel that.
person. but
Yeah.
but this
Ooh,
all
I
this
don't
all we
know.
gonna talk about. This all y'all get. Y'all need to get on the next episode. What I say,
Get
April
into it. It's
6th. We still
April
are
6th,
we back on our regular schedule time on
I
the 6th?
think.
If not, yeah, guess
I
what? Y'all
think.
gonna know ahead of time.
Y'all
Yeah,
see us.
y'all looking up. Go join the pages and all that, and then we're gonna put the flyers, and you'll know what time we be on there. But we
Yeah.
want to thank everybody for getting on today and interacting. We really appreciate y'all. Um,
Most
yeah, my sister
definitely.
said everybody go out there and be great. Okay,
Yes. We're gonna go be
I
great.
know. I'm gonna go stretch because working out. This is ghetto, so that's what I'm be great.
But you on your way to your promise. That's all that matters.
I don't
You on your way
this
to
was
your
part
summer
of the
promise.
promise, but
It's the pregnancy stages. You only in week 4.
yeah,
You got
my
it.
my ass hurt.
Got another 34 to go. We love y'all. We appreciate all the sinners, winners, and beginners, man. Until we see y'all next
All right,
time.
catch
Stay
us.
safe, stay loved, stay you. Be great.
Do-
We'll
All
see
right
y'all.
then. Peace.